Daniel here for Tabletop for One. Please join me at the table as I teach and play through Santa Maria. And I thank you for joining me for this tutorial and solo playthrough of Santa Maria. Santa Maria is designed by Kirstian Ostby and Eilif Svensson. These are two of the minds behind Revive. And Revive happens to be one of my favorite Euro games of all time right now. And it's also published by the same company, Aporta Games. Now, I picked up this game, new and shrink, on clearance. I think it was only 20 bucks. And so I brought it to the table and I had a blast, and I love the combo-tastic nature of this game. Sorry, I normally don't give my thoughts during the playthrough, but this is my own copy, so there's only the inherent bias of my enjoyment of the game here. But yeah, in Santa Maria, you are out colonizing, setting up a colony, trying to build your resources, mine some gems, gain some gold, and do all sorts of things, export some stuff out and other things. Really, the theme doesn't matter in this game because it's all about the mechanics, and this theme could be something different and would still be just as fun. And so let's go into setup here. Now I'm going to do the setup a little bit differently than what the game tells you to do, just out of order a little bit here. So first of all, you need a player board on the B side. You'll use the B side for the solo mode, and then you need the common board here. You'll take two of the blue dice, you'll place one right here and one right here. When you reach these spaces on the prayer board, you'll gain these dice, you'll roll them and add them to your pile here. But for now, they're gonna stay there. And then you're gonna roll all four of these dice here. And the first one, the blue one, is gonna go to your board. You place it on the 4 spot there since it rolled a 4. These other two are gonna go here and this one here. And the next thing you want to do is shuffle up the scholar tiles. You go and draw 3 random ones and place them up here. These are scholar tiles that you can access later by using a monk. But then draw 4 more, and you're going to place these right here real quick. Then take the 4 town center tiles here. These are the ones with the black back. You're going to randomly place these above these here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to choose one set of these. Because the setup rules have you set up using the advanced variant, and the advanced variant is choosing these tiles here. For your first game, you may not know which of these to choose, but I think I will go with this one here. It says you may pay 3 money for a bag of sugar or a gem. And so that's really useful. And so I can just add this to my town here, or my colony, and I'll be able to use this at any time because normally you can't buy sugar or gems, so having that option might be useful later. Then you take the town center card that's associated with it and you're going to place it inside your colony here. But one thing you want to think about when you're placing it is you look at the dice that have been rolled. I'll explain all the actions later, but basically you're going to be activating columns or rows based on the dice here. And so we know 3 is going to be activated because of these 2 dice here, and then 4 is going to be activated because of that blue die. So I think I will place it right here. That way I can use that action later. I'll explain all that later. And so you can go ahead and remove these out of the way. These will not be used for the game. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the orange sailed cards here. You're going to randomly select these and slot them in these 4 slots here on the left of the common board, just like that. You have a huge stack of the other export cards, and you'll just, you can set these like down here, but I'm going to set them aside so I don't knock them over. Next, take these single road tokens here, add them to the spot on the pink track here. Shuffle up these tiles here. I'll place their piles also off the screen, but you're going to draw 5 from each of them. And so to save space, this is kind of how I arrange them here. So just like this. You'll have some wooden resources and some money. This is about all you need. You only need 3 of each of the resource because that is the max you can have in your storehouse anyways. So you can keep these in a separate baggie to make it easier when you play solo. And then you only need about this much money too. Just a random small amount of money because you don't really accumulate a lot of money. You end up spending most of it. And then next you're going to have these 6 monks. You can just place them somewhere on your board. I place them right here. You have the year tracker, this gray disc here. And then you have 3 of your trackers. You'll place one here on the prayer track on the first spot, one here on the conquistador track right there. And the last one's going to go in this little oval area right here. Also, you'll draw 3 of the bishop tiles. You'll only need 3. The other 3 can go back in the box. You'll place these up here. These are for endgame scoring, and we'll go over those later. And last but not least, you have all your point tokens. These are the happiness tokens here, and I've used this little case to arrange them. Unfortunately, these are not double-sided. They really should be, because they all have the same back, so if you have them upside down, you don't know what value they are. So I separated them in this little compartment here. At the start of the game, you get 3 coins. We place them in a little coin area there, and then 2 pieces of wood. All right, so that is it for setup, and we're ready to start talking about the rules. So in Santa Maria, you're going to be taking actions. There are 4 main type of actions that you can take, as well as some free actions. The first action you can take is to buy and expand your land. So you have these buildings up here that give you different options. And the cost for the buildings is printed here on the common board, but also on the back side of the tiles, it tells you how much they cost. Basically, it's 2 wood and a wheat for one of the bigger tiles, and then just 2 wood for one of the smaller ones. So you can buy those at any time as one of your actions. And then you place them anywhere in your colony. They just can't overlap any other tiles, nor can they cover up the pre-printed spots on the board. Now you'll notice there's these little people on the tiles here. I'll explain that when it comes to end game scoring. And the next thing you can do is you can activate buildings. And so when you activate a building, you pay for it. So let's say I wanted to activate this building here, which gives me a wheat and lets me move up on the conquistador track. Then I would spend 1 coin to activate that building. And so then I would gain that resource, adding the wheat to my storehouse here, and then moving up on the conquistador track. Now, anytime you move up on the conquistador track, you just need to bear in mind when you cross over the gold symbol, then you gain a gold. Gold happens to be a wild resource that you can use for other resources in the game. And if you decide that you also want to activate another building by paying for it, the next building you pay for costs 1 more coin than the previous building that you used. So if this one cost 1, the next one will cost 2, so I'd have to spend 2. Then the next one costs 3, and the next one costs 4. So you have to keep that in mind. It just gets incrementally more expensive. And then the third action you can do is utilize a die. So when you utilize a die, you'll take one, either the white ones here, or use one of your blue ones. When you activate a die, let's say it's a blue one here, you'll activate anything in that row, any building, from left to right. And then the die lands on the final vacant building that you used. So in this case here, I only have 2 buildings. The road doesn't activate, neither does the little person on there. So in this case here, I would activate this building first, gaining 1 grain and 1 sugar. And then I'd move on to this one, advancing on the prayer track. And at that point, since there are no other buildings in this row, the die would end up there. Any buildings that have coins or dice on them cannot be activated again this year. When you advance on the prayer track, however, you're going to move your little token up here 1 space at a time. Every time you advance on the prayer track, you may spend 1 wheat to move an additional space, as indicated here by this little icon here. So you can advance 2 spaces every time if you have enough wheat to spend. Anytime you cross over a monk on this track, you will actually take one of your monks here and add them to one of the vacant spaces. There are 10 vacant spaces, so you have 3 here at the top for these abilities, and then you have 3 here for endgame scoring, and then you have these 4 here that just give you bonuses or points. So this one gives you 2 sugar, 2 gems, 1 gold, or 3 points. Again, these little happy symbols are the points of the game. Now, if you choose an endgame scoring tile, you'll place the monk there and you'll gain that ability to score at the end of the game, but you'll lose 2 points at the end of the game for using that. So just keep that in mind. And a lot of these will tell you that they have a maximum of 12 or some other maximum. And so I'll tell you about the endgame scoring at the end of the rules overview. Now these abilities here, if you place a monk here, you'll be able to use that ability as often as you want, whenever you want. And so they all do different things here. And so let me show you what these do here. I'm not going to go over every single scholar tile that there is, but this one here is construction. It says, after you've activated a row or column, you may leave the die on any vacant building in that row or column, not the last one. So it lets you plan a little bit better. This one here is pretty straightforward. Whenever you act a trade building, the trade buildings look like this, where you spend a resource to gain something. You can actually do it a second time. So that's kind of nice. And then this last one here is when you gain a new shipment tile, which we haven't gone over yet here, you may immediately pay 1 or more coins to move this tile to a different dock. And I'll explain that in just a moment. But those are the 3 abilities there. The one that looks real useful to me, actually the 2 that look really useful to me are these 2 here. Depending on how many trade buildings I get, that will be useful. Also, you'll notice at the bottom of these tiles, there's happy faces. So if you have a monk at one of these spaces, you'll gain those points at the end of the game. All right, so we talked about production buildings, buildings that give you stuff. So the buildings that give you, like this one gives you wood, or this one gives you straw, and there's other buildings. This one gives you diamonds or gems, whatever we want to call that. And then there are the prayer ones, the conquistador ones, but there's also the ship one. And so what you're able to do is you're able to ship off goods to the home country. And so when you use that action, you can choose any one of these goods here to ship off if you have the good. And then from whatever dock it's at, you're going to add that tile face down to that spot. So if I had paid off 1 sugar here, I would add this tile to the spot here. Now the importance of these tiles here is your income every year. See, when you run out of actions to do, like the game doesn't give you a limit on your actions. You can do as many actions as you want and be as efficient as you want, but at some point you've run out of money and resources to do any more actions. When that happens, you're going to retire. It's the 4th action of the game. And when you retire, you can move your marker here to any one of these 5 spots. The bottom one here gives you a 1 square tile that you can place on your board. And this next one here lets you make a shipping action. This next one lets you move up 1 space on the conquistador. This one gives you another prayer, or this one gives you 2 coins. And after you've chosen that and activated that, then you're going to come over here and do your income. You gain income for each of these areas depending on how many tiles you have in that spot. So in this case here, I have 1 tile here, so I would gain 2 coins. But if I had 4 tiles here, I would gain 8 coins. Or maybe if I had 4 tiles here, I would move 4 times up on the conquistador track. So there's some really good ways of gaining a lot of income. So definitely keep that in mind and try and plan around that. Now, one thing I failed to mention about the prayer track is at the very end here, if you reach the end of the prayer track and you gain any more prayer, you'll actually gain points instead, 1 point for each one. And so also at the end of the year, for the solo mode, you're going to be scoring points based on how far you got on the conquistador track. There are 3 trees here. See these little tiny trees? So for the first year, if you pass this tree, you will gain the points shown here on the 2-player of 4. If you pass the second tree on the second year, you'll gain 5. And if you pass the 3rd tree on the 3rd year, you'll gain 6. And that's after you've done your retirement action. Also, the conquistador ends up moving back to the beginning at the end of the year. So keep that in mind. You have to progress further every year. And then the prayer track does not move back. That stays in its position. At the end of year also, you're going to remove any dice from your board here, and any coins that are on buildings, those will go back to the supply. All these tiles here will get removed and replenished at that point. They don't get replenished during the year. I did fail to mention that these tiles here, when you use the shipping action, get replenished immediately. So you're able to utilize that quite often if you have a lot of shipping actions. And there are also some free actions to keep in mind. On your board here, it shows you're able to spend 3 money to gain a wheat or a wood. But you're also able to sell resources. The wheat or wood sell for 1 each, or these ones here sell for 2 each. You can't ever buy these unless you have this tile here. And so those free actions can happen at any time. So if you by chance gain more resources than you have room in your storehouse for, again, there's a maximum of 3 each. So if I had gained 2 more wood here, that would put me over by 1. You immediately sell that extra wood for a coin. So you don't lose anything there. All right, so at the end of the 3rd year, you're going to go into endgame scoring. You'll sell off all your resources and you'll gain points, 1 point for every 3 coins that you have. You'll also gain points for your colonists, so the little guys in the white shirt here on your tiles. If you have completed a row or column, you can score that column and count however many colonists are in that column. Also, if you complete a row and a column and the colonist is on both of those, he'll score twice. And then you'll score points for your monks. So your monks that are on here will score the points shown above them. On here, you'll deduct 2 points from each monk that you have in these endgame spots, and then you'll score for these here. And so for the endgame scoring that I have for this game here, this one lets me score 2 points for each city that's connected to the town hall that's uninterrupted. That means that there can't be buildings on that road that leads to the town hall. So I can score a lot of points that way. I just have to keep that in mind. This one here, it lets me score 2 points per space in my largest continuous area of one terrain. So it could be forest, farms, or mountains. And the next one here, this one lets me score 1 point for each colonist that's connected to the town hall by an uninterrupted road. So I definitely had to use some uninterrupted roads to try and make that worth a lot of points. So I don't want to put too many buildings next to each other like I did here. But again, I don't even have to go for those if I don't want to, but I definitely should go for 1 or 2 of them. And then the other in-game scoring comes in with your harbor here. So for every full set of 4, 1 in each of these harbor areas, you'll gain 3 points. And then you'll gain the points also for all the happiness markers on the underside of those tiles. So you count those all and you'll get points for that. And after that, that is done. Now your goal is 100 points. And so you have a lot of actions to do and a lot of points to gain, but there's a lot going on with this game. And so with that, we are ready to start the game. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to buy a tile. I want to buy one of the 2 square tiles, and it's only going to cost me 2 wood. And so let's see, I want to go with this one here because this one just gives me straight up lumber, and I think that'll be helpful. And so I'm going to place it right here. And the reason why I'm placing it here with the building here is because we have a 6 white die, and I can activate it if I go down that way, which I will be. And so with that in mind, I'm out of resources, so I definitely want to activate this one. So I will use the 6 die now. So we start here and we activate each of these buildings. So this first one here gives me a gem. Add that to my supply. The next one gives me 1 wood. And the last one here gives me the prayer symbol, which lets me move up 1 space. And so with that, this die here moves to that final space. And now this one won't be activated again this year. But I do think I want to use this one here by just spending a coin. This is one of the other actions. You can pay to use a building, and all that is going to give me 1 piece of wood. But then I can go ahead and use both of these pieces of wood to buy another building. And I want to buy a building that's going to fit along here because I'm going to activate the 4 next, I think. And so if I buy a building that fits here, I'll be able to activate it along with these. And I'll definitely choose the one that has a colonist on it. And it's also going to give me a couple coins. So this is kind of nice. And I'll place it like this. And there is one rule that I forgot to mention to you, and this is very useful. I don't know that I'm going to use it this turn, but you are able to adjust the dice. See, the dice aren't absolute. If you have a lot of money, you can spend it to adjust the die. So for each pip that you change it, you're going to spend 1 coin. So if I wanted to change this 3 to a 6, then I would have to spend 3 coins. If I wanted to change a 1 to a 6, I would have to spend 5 coins. So yeah, there's definitely some ways to change the dice. You're not at the mercy of the dice for this game. You just have to spend some coins. But let's go ahead and activate this die here. So the first thing we activate is we gain 2 coins. So there we go. The next one gives me a straw or wheat and a sugar. Very nice. And then I get to pray. So I will pray, and then I will spend this wheat to move it again. And this gives me 2 different things. First of all, I get this blue die. So now that I've gained this blue die, I roll it, and then I add it to the side of my board here. So I can actually use it this turn. But I also gain a monk. And so I get to choose where I want to place the monk. I think I want to place the monk here, because that'll let me choose where I end the die. So yeah, that's where I'm going to place it. And then my next action in this activation is a wood. So I gain 1 wood here. And so now, since I use that new ability, I can place this anywhere along this track. So I could place it here for the coins, because I don't know if I'm going to activate the coins again. But I guess I'm not really going to activate this wood again, so maybe I just place it down here at the end. I think I will activate this 5 die, moving it here. It just gives me 1 wood and the Conquistador action. I don't think I'll be adding buildings down here, so that makes it worth my while. And I'll move this 1 space. I know this is a lot of money to spend, but I will spend 3 money right now as a free action to buy 1 wheat. And I'll add it here because now I want to spend all 3 of these to buy one of the bigger plots of land here. And I think I'm going to choose this one. I like this one a lot, so I'm going to place it right here. Now, if we're thinking about the end game scoring, this building is connected to my town hall here, so that'll count towards this one here as an uninterrupted road because it's adjacent to it. But also these two forests are next to each other, so it could count towards this one. And so we'll see which one I choose at the end. But now I need to activate dice, and I think I'll activate the 3 here. We gain 1 wood, and then we get to pray once, so we move up again. And then this next one here is the shipping action. All right, so now we get to choose one of these here for the shipping action. And I think I want to choose the Conquistador because I definitely want to have that as part of my income. So I will pay for that one. It costs me 1 wood, and it just goes right next to the Conquistador one here. Then we move on to the pray action again. So I get to pray one more time, moving up 1 more space, gaining another monk to use. So what do I want? I do like the idea of gaining a gold. That might be nice. So yeah, let's gain a gold. Having that flexibility with a wild resource is really nice. I did forget to replenish this one here, so there we go. And so now I have to choose where I want to put this die, so it can go in one of these 3 spaces. I guess if anything, I put it in the one that's just a single prayer option, because if I activate the 3 here, which I'm not sure that I'm going to do yet, but if I activate the 3 here, I'll want the one that gives me wood, and I'll probably want the shipping action. And so I want to decide if I want to go here. Now that I have a shipping action there, it seems like a good place to go. I kind of wish I had some more money, because if I had more money, I could activate a building. But maybe I should figure out how I can gain some more. I guess I could always sell a resource, but let's activate the 3. We'll activate it in this spot here. So the first one that gets activated is that one. I get a wood, and then the prayer moves up 1. And, ooh, this is so tempting right now. I could spend this gold as a straw to move up a second time. Yes, I will do that, and then I will roll this die, and I have that available. That's actually really nice. And so that gives me 1 more monk. So I have to be really careful about what I use this for. Because I'm going to gain a shipping action next, right here. And if I use this 1 die here, I'll gain another shipping action. So I can get a lot of shipping actions right now. So this is really good. The question is, which one of these do I want? I can gain 2 more gems. That way I can buy this one and this one. They're also worth a lot of points. But this one will give me income for coins. Maybe I should just get the 2 gems. That way I have those options. So I gained 2 gems, and now I'm at my max of 3 gems. And then we have the shipping action. And so what do I want for my income? I kind of want the Conquistador. Yeah, I definitely want the Conquistador for that. So we'll gain this here. That'll be nice. It'll cost me 1 wood and 1 gem. Now, during the income, I'll move up twice on the Conquistador track. So that'll give me another gold. So that'll be nice. And on top of that, I'll score the extra 4 points. And so that action is done. So I don't think it really matters where I put this one. So I'll place it right there. And then we activate this one here. So I'll get to use the shipping action 1 more time. So what else do I want? I definitely want the 2 coins. So I'll gain that one, spending the 1 sugar I have. I did forget to refill these here once again. And we go on to the last action here. It's going to gain me another gem. So it's a good thing I spent that gem earlier. And this die moves in. It really doesn't matter where. Now, I do have an option here. And I wonder if I should take it. Because I could sell one of these gems right now for 2 coins. Remember, that's a free action. And now I have 3 coins. And I can spend 2 of them on one of my buildings. And so what do I want to have going into the next round? I could activate this building here, giving me a wheat and a sugar, or this one giving me a wheat and a conquistador. Now, if I get the conquistador here, I'll move up 1 space, and then during the retirement, I'll move 2 spaces. So that's not going to get me any more gold unless I choose the conquistador action, but I think I'm going to choose the shipping action instead. So maybe the best thing to do is to spend the 2 coins on a sugar and a wheat. And that'll help me out going into the next round. And at this point, I have no other actions, no free actions or any other actions but to retire. So I will retire. I will use the shipping action. And the shipping action is going to let me ship 1 more good. What do I want as income? I could have happiness as an income. That'd be 1 point. I could add more coins. That'll give me some more usage there. Or I could do the prayer action. I think I'm doing okay on the prayer stuff right now. So maybe I will do this one. Although I have a lot of gems, so maybe I should get rid of a gem. Okay, I'm convincing myself to do that. So we'll spend 1 gem there. And so now I have this for income. And this is what we get to do right now. So we get our income here. We start top to bottom. First thing I'm going to get is 2 coins from that income. Now I have 2 tiles here, so that means I get to move the conquistador twice, and that'll gain me 1 gold brick. So that's really nice. And then this last one here lets me move once up on the prayer track. And so now we check to see, did I pass that first tree for the first year? I sure did. So I'm gonna gain 4 points for that. It seems like a small amount when it comes to needing 100 points to win this game, but that's a good start. Now we're gonna move the round tracker up 1 space. This gets returned to the beginning here. This other marker of mine goes back to the little oval area. Once again, I forgot to refill the shipping track. Sorry about that. Ooh, but look at that one, 5 points, and I have all the resources for it. That'd be great. And then any coins that you have placed on buildings to activate them, those will get returned to the supply. All the dice you have here get removed. And then we're gonna roll all these dice here just like that. And so we'll slot these in, 4, 2, and 2. Those probably aren't the numbers I need. I've built kind of elsewhere, so there we go. And then all these tiles here get discarded, and you're going to replenish all 5 of each of them. All right, and so we're ready to go on to the new year. I have a lot of good stuff going for me right now. I do like the idea of spending 1 coin to make this a 4, which I think I will do that to start. So I'll spend 1 coin, made that a 4, and then I'll activate it along this track here. So first of all, I will gain 2 coins, so I get that coin back. And then I will gain a wheat and a sugar. Very nice. And then I will get to move up on the prayer track. Do I want to spend 1 wheat to move again? Do I? No, I want to save those for the shipping action because this one requires 2 wheat here. I think that's the right call. I know it would give me another monk right now, but I don't exactly need the monk at the moment. So I will wait on that. And then I get 1 more wood. So that's really nice. And so I will drop this one off, I think, right here because I don't know that I'm going to access this column here. I'm also going to spend 1 coin to change one of these 2 white dies here to a 3, placing it here, and I'll activate these here. This is going to gain me 1 wood, which I'm going to need for expansion for sure. I get to pray once, so move up, gaining another monk. And let's see, where do we want to place this one? I think we'll do it for endgame scoring. So now I need to decide where I'm going to go for endgame scoring. I could go for cities. Maybe I can place another city here adjacent to my town center. And then maybe I'll get the road connecting this one here. So I think with those in plan, I will place it here. And then I get to use the shipping action, and we talked about using this one. Or this one. Ooh, they're both good. I do like having more on the conquistador. And, you know, I should get 1 to finish a set of 4. Remember, that gives me 3 extra points at the end of the game if I choose that one. But I think I'll go with this one here. I hope that's the right call. That cost me a lot of resources. But then I do get to add this one here to the conquistador. So I'll get to move up 3 times during my income. And then the last one here, moving up the prayer track 1 more time. Again, not going to spend any wheat. I do have a gold I could spend as that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm really having a tough time deciding what I want to do next. I think I will spend the 2 wood and the gold to build a 3 square section. Maybe I'll get this one here and place it right here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Although it doesn't have a colonist on it. That's unfortunate. But I'm going to go with it anyways because I want that free wood. And so then I will activate this blue die here. So we're going to gain 1 wood. And then we get to use the shipping action 1 more time. And once again, I forgot to refill. I'm going to end up doing that the rest of the game. Sorry about that. Oh, and it's so tempting to get this one right now. So tempting. But I don't know that I want to spend all those resources right now. So I'm just going to use this one to gain this one. That'll be nice. It'll give me some extra coins during the income phase, which will make my final round all that much better. And then the last one here lets me gain a wheat and move up on the conquistador track. There we go. And so where do I want to place this die? Oh, and I forgot to place this die. Well, I would have placed it here anyways, but this one is going to go, I think, right here because I don't think I'm going to be using that option again. All right, so I'm left with a 2 die, a 4 die for the white, and then a 5 for the blue. I definitely want to change this 2 into a 1 because then I can activate all these here. Am I ready to do that though? Is it going to be worth my while? Possibly, because then I could ship and gain this one here, and that'll give me a full set and I'll have a lot of income. So maybe that's what I should do. I'm going to spend 1 coin to change this to a 1, and then I'll activate all these. The shipping action first. I will gain this shipping tile here, spending 1 wheat to obtain that. And now I have 1 tile in each of those sections. And the next one here is the conquistador, moving up 1 space. Then I gain 2 coins. Once again, loving those extra coins that I'm getting back. And then 1 wood. And that wood is going to help me expand. So now we need to place this somewhere. And I think I will place it here because I don't think I'll activate this row or column again. All right, so now I can spend this 2 wood right now to gain another building. And I want to think about, I have the 5 to activate and the 4. And how am I going to activate those? Well, I might just activate the 4 as is. But if I plan things right with the 5, I can make the 5 into a 6 and activate the bottom row. So let's see which of these I would like. I'm thinking about this one here, because if I place it right here, they'll give me an extra wood. And on top of that, I have another person here. And then there's a road here. If I connect this road to this one here, it'll connect this town. So yeah, that I think is really worth it. All right, then so which one do I choose to activate first? I don't think it really matters. So I will activate the 4 die. I will gain 1 wood. We'll just do them all at the same time. I'm gonna gain 3 wood at the same time. Okay, so that's really useful. And then I get to move the Conquistador up once on the Conquistador track, and that's gonna gain me a gold. Even more useful. And so I will place the 4 die, I think just right here, because I'm not gonna use that one again. And then the next one here, the 5. Yes, I will pay the coin to turn that into a 6, moving it down here. Actually, hold on. Before I do that, why don't we buy another building? I have a lot of wood, so I'm going to run out of space anyways. So let's spend 2 wood and the gold to buy a 3 square building. And so I want to choose between these 2 here. One's going to give me wheat, and I might need wheat for a shipping action later. So let's do this one here. Actually, that's not going to be the way I want it to unless I place it like this. So that one doesn't work. I want to place that town right here. So the only way to do it is to place it like this. We'll grab this one here. It does have a person on it, a colonist, so that's going to help scoring. And this building activation is really kind of nice. So this one here is one of those trade buildings. And so this one lets me, when I activate it, I can trade one of these resources for one of the other resources. So that's really nice. Nice to have that option. And then now I will spend that coin to make the 5 into a 6 and then activate this bottom row. It's going to gain me 2 wood and 1 gem to start. And then on top of that, I'm going to get the prayer action. Moves me 1 space further. And so we're done with that die. And I don't think it matters where we go. All right, so we have some resources left, but we still have some activations I can do. I can spend my coins to do more activations. So one of the ones I want to do is the building right here, which will give me a wheat and a sugar. That only costs 1 coin to activate. And then I can activate 1 more building for the 2 coins I have left. Question is, what do I want? Do I want to use the shipping action now? And again, forgot. I know. So if I use the shipping action now, I have a couple of different options, this one or this one. Both of those are pretty good. Actually, I can do most of these except the gold one. Or do I want to do the Conquistador action? Right now, I'm going to get to move 3 spaces on the Conquistador track, so I'm going to get the gold either way. So let's do the shipping action. We'll use that one. And then which one do we want? What do we want for income? The prayer track is not as important right now for income, but that 5 points that we get for this tile is really nice. So maybe I will choose that one. And so I don't have any more actions, although I could even still expand if I want to. Are there any of these tiles here? I have 2 and 1. Well, the thing is I probably want to spend this gem and this wheat on this tile here if I choose the shipping action at the end. So maybe I shouldn't spend those 2. So if I want to buy a building, it'll be one of these 4 at the top here. And you know, it's not a bad idea. I'll spend the 2 wood because I'm going to add this one here. This one here is going to connect here to this other forest. So if I get another monk, I can place it here and I'll have a lot of forests connect together. That's going to earn me a lot of points. All right, so let's go ahead and retire. Let's choose the shipping action once again. I find that one very useful. I'll spend these 2 resources for this tile here, placing it here, replacing it in the market here. And then I get income. So I get a lot of stuff. I get 4 coins. And then once again, I have 3 conquistadors here. So 1, 2, 3. And that's going to give me another gold. Very nice. And then 2 prayer. So 1, 2 gains me a monk. And let's place it. I could place it here for the 2 sugar. Do I want the 2 sugar going in? Maybe not. Why don't we just go ahead and place it for the end game scoring, because that's going to help. And then I get 2 points. So that's nice. A little bit of income on the happiness. Everybody's happy. All right, so at the end of the round here, we check to see if I made it on the Conquistador track. I did, so I gained 5. Now I have 11. And then we move this back to the beginning here. We're going on to year number 3, discarding all the coins, all the dice, and then these building tiles here get discarded. And we'll replenish those here. Then we have to re-roll the dice, see what we get. Interesting numbers, 1, 2, and 3 on the white, and then 2, 3, and 3 on the blue. Very interesting. All right, and so we're ready to go for this final year of the game. Now, I don't have a lot of resources to start, so I'm gonna definitely have to try and get some. I'm glad I got the gold, because the gold's gonna help me with 2 of these shipments here. Now I have 2 of each kind of shipment, so at this point here, I have 6 points in endgame scoring. If I can get 3 more, so this one, and this one, oh man, that's gonna require 3 gold. Let's see if I can pull that off, but if I can, that's gonna give me a lot of points. On top of that, these 2 here are worth 5 points each, so there's a lot of points to be had in shipping those goods off. I definitely need some wood, so the first thing I want to do is change this die to a 4 by spending the 1 coin here. Then I'll activate all these here, so that will gain me 3 wood right away. Very nice indeed. And then I gain 1 on the Conquistador track, so very good. Now, where do I want to place this one? I think I will place it at the bottom. I can't fathom myself activating this bottom row here. And so then I want to buy a building for 2 wood. And it's a building I'll probably want to place, you know, maybe down here or down here. Actually, right here would be really good, because if I activate the 1 or the 2 column, that's going to help. And so let's choose one that gives me stuff I need, but also gives me a colonist. So one of these 3 here. So this one gives me sugar or a gem or a wheat. I think I'll go with the gem. I think that's the right call. And I'll place it right here. Now the next action that I'm going to choose is I'm going to take this 3 and I'm going to turn it into a 4. That's going to cost me 1 coin as well. So now I'm down to 2 coins. I'll activate this row, which means I gain 2 coins. Very nice. And then I gain a wheat and a sugar. And I pray once, moving up on the track. And then I gain 1 more wood. But then we're done with this row, so I'm going to place this all the way here on the 1 wood. Let's buy another building. Let's do it. So that's going to cost me these resources here. We'll use a 3 square building. Now I definitely want one with a forest and colonists, because I want it to fit right here. And I think the best one right here is this one, because this will give me 2 colonists and it'll fit right here. And now I have 4 forests together, which is going to help with that end game scoring. So that worked really well. But I do need to finish these 2 here if I want to score all the colonists on my board. All right, so let's use the blue die this time. We're going to activate the Conquistador, moving up once. And then we'll gain 2 wood and a prayer. So there we go, 2 wood, 1 more prayer. We gain our final monk. And so how are we going to use the monk? I could gain 3 points, or I could gain the 2 sugar. Oh, that's a tough call. But maybe I should gain the 2 sugar. I might find that a little more useful. I didn't choose the other endgame scoring goal because, again, endgame scoring goals, you automatically lose 2 points and then you gain whatever the goal is. The other one is to have colonists on uninterrupted roads. And I think the max I could gain is maybe 4 points out of that, minus the 2 points. So it would have been a 2-point gain. So definitely not worth it. And so now we choose where this is going and it'll land right here. And so next up, I want to use the 1 white die. Then we'll use the shipping action. I want to get this tile right here. It costs a gold and a sugar, and this is going to be worth 5 points at the end. So definitely worth it. And then I will use the Conquistador action, moving up, gaining a gold. There we go. Very nice. And then moving down, I gain 2 more coins. This is going to help with building activations later. And then 1 gem. Very good. So now I have enough resources for this other tile here. And I might end up with enough, yeah, I'll probably get enough Conquistador actions to gain this gold as well. We'll see if we can pull it off. And so this die is going to go all the way down at the bottom here. And then I want to use the 2 die here, place it right here. I will gain 1 wood, so I'm at max on wood. And then I will gain 1 wheat and 1 sugar, max on sugar again. And then 1 more gem. So I'm swimming in resources right now. I need to start using these. But now I'm going to use 2 of these woods to buy 1 more building. And I definitely want one that has colonists on it, so it's one of these 2 here. I'm full on sugar, so let's gain this one here that has wheat. And we'll place it right here, lining it up with this 3, because I want to use this 3 next. I did forget to move this 2 die. I'm going to place it down here at the bottom. And so now we use the 3 next, and it's going to gain me 1 wood, and then a shipping action. Very good. I will gain this tile. I will spend 1 gem and 1 gold. Once again, lots of points there. And then moving along, I gain one more wheat and one conquistador action. So I move up one space. Oh, and look, I gain one more wheat from the building that I just placed. Once again, swimming in resources. And so this die is gonna land somewhere, and I guess it'll land right here. And now I'm out of dice. So I really wanna buy this last piece of land here, because again, if you buy the land and it connects everything, well, for one thing, I wanted to connect this town back to my town hall. But if you fill up your board, then you score all your colonists twice. So that's definitely worth it because you score rows and columns that are completed. And so I'm going to gain a ton of points from colonists. Now, just as a side note, there are actually achievements for this game. And so it actually tells you here that there's an achievement for communism. Score 28 points or more from colonists. Well, I'm not going to get this game. You have to have a colonist on every of those tiles, I think. Because right now I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to get 22 points from it. But if I had 3 more colonists on those empty spaces, then yeah, I would have scored enough. Well, moving on to the rest of the game here. I have a few actions remaining. See, I have coins to use. I have 6 coins, which means I can activate 3 buildings. Because one building costs 1, the other will cost 2, and the last one will cost 3. So I definitely want to activate buildings. The first thing I'm thinking of is activating a shipping, because I want to gain this one here, although I can't gain it yet. So let's activate the conquistador, right? So we'll choose a conquistador that gives us a resource as well. It doesn't matter which of these two, so I'll choose this one here, giving me 1 wood. Well, I guess the other one would have given me a wheat, and I'm full on wheat. Now we move this up 1 space, gaining 1 more gold. Very nice. And then I will spend 2 coins to activate the shipping yard, and I will gain this tile, and that will gain me a lot of points, as well as finishing off the 3rd set. Very nice. And so that's really nice. There's a 4-point card here. I might as well go for that. So we'll spend our last 3 coins on another shipping action. I think that's the best call at this point, because yeah, that's going to give me a lot of points. So buy this one here using those resources, and yeah, I'll add it to the prayer section here. Yeah, so this is turning out to be one of the best games I've played yet. We'll see. We're moving on to the retirement here. So I have to choose which action I want to take, because these are all worth points. So yeah, let's use the shipping action one more time. I will buy, I guess this one here. I guess it really doesn't matter between the two. So 2 straw or 2 wheat for that. All right, and so we go into our income here. I'm going to gain 8 coins. And then we move 3 times up on the conquistador track, getting 1 more gold. All right. And then we gain 4 on the prayer. Now, whenever, see, I'm at the end of the prayer track. So as you gain more on the prayer track, you just gain points. So 4 points there. And then I have 3 here for the happiness, which is 3 more points. And then we do the end of year stuff. We're going to check this one here to make sure I passed the right tree. And I passed the 3rd tree there. So I'm going to gain 6 more points. And now we're on to end game scoring. So now we sell all the resources that I have. I have 2, 4, 6. Again, these are worth 2 each. So 6, 7, and 8. So we'll add that to my money here. And then we're going to convert the money into points. So you get 1 point for every 3 money. So that's 4 right there. And then 3 more here. That makes it 5 points. And the last one just gets left out. All right, so now we count our colonists on the road. And of course, we already counted that. That is going to be 22 points. We're looking really good here at 51 points so far. Again, on the colonists, just so you know what's going on, is you're going to count each colonist for each row that you completed. So I completed all the rows, and there's 11 colonists on all those rows. And then for each column that you completed, again, the same amount. So effectively, you score each colonist twice, and so that's 22 points. Now we score the monks here. So the first monk here is going to gain me 3 points just for being in that spot. There we go. You do not gain points for this one here, because it's only to monks that are assigned to it. And then our end game scoring. Now we're going to lose 4 points automatically for having 2 monks there. But then we're going to check our end game scoring. And so I score 2 points for the largest continuous terrain. And terrains are forests, farms, or mountains. And the largest one is right here. I have 4 forests. And so that's going to give me 8 points. And then for the other end-game scoring, it's however many cities are connected back to my town center by unbroken roads. And I think I just have 3. I have this one here. The road goes along here. back to my town center. This one's adjacent to it. This one's adjacent to it. The other city I have is all the way in this corner, but it's broken up by other buildings. So I'll gain 6 points out of that. And then next we get for sets in the harbor. So if I have 3, as I do in each harbor, then I will gain a total of 9 points because you gain 3 points for each set. It's getting really close here. We're at 73 points. And so the final scoring is going to come down to what I have on the other sides of these tiles. All these tiles are going to get added in, and we'll see how much I have. And so I just set these in stacks of 10 points. So like this, 2, 2, 2, and 4. So that's 10, 20. We had 2 5s there. 30, and then I have 12 left over here. So 42 points on top of my 73. Wow, 115 points. That is the best game I've ever played. This is actually the first time I've ever won. And so there you have it. That was the tutorial and solo playthrough for Santa Maria by Kirstian Ostby and Eilif Svensson, and published by Aporta Games. Again, this is my own copy that I purchased for myself, and I have to tell you, this is a combo-tastic, fun action efficiency game. Again, I don't normally give my final thoughts on games in my playthroughs, but there's no bias here. I haven't done anything for this publisher in the past. But yeah, I'm having a blast with this game. Definitely reminds me of the combo-tastic nature of Revive, even those are 2 completely separate games, but it still has that action efficiency. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of this game, or point out any rules errors I may have made. Please also like and subscribe to this channel if you like the content you see here, and I thank you very much for joining me on Tabletop for One. Have a great night.